So we finally got done with the IS300. We're actually gonna leave my Dodge here tonight and I'm gonna ride home with him. We're gonna get on the highway and see how it does. And see my Dodge, my work truck. But I brought the 350Z, I've got it here, I'm gonna leave it here. And I will probably bring the SC300 tomorrow is probably what I'll drive, and then I'll drive my Dodge back home. But I've got so many vehicles, I got a complaint from I live in the county too, but I got a complaint from the county where I got too many vehicles, so I don't want to leave any here at the shop, outside at my house. At least they're in my possession and I know what else there. Over in the city over here where we actually have the shop, there's all hours of the night and day people walk up and down this street, so I don't really want to leave anything outside. So I reckon I guess I'm gonna have to just stick some of the cars that I'm not really concerned with outside and stack, like I've got the 350 in the truck, stack them on the lifts and just move them every day until I get something else going. And I have some cars that I plan on just getting rid of. I use for parts and a couple of things. I'll get all that cleaned up and then we'll get to that. All right, what I got on the agenda for today is I got the 350Z up. I got to change the plugs on the white truck, but I got the 350Z up here and I'm going to pull the fuel tank because we've got a leak on the fuel line somewhere. And to do that, because the shield right here, the shield has to come off, so I have to drop the drive shaft. And I'm going to go ahead, while I'm doing all that, dropping the drive shaft and all this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and drop the rear end while I'm here. And my bushings have started to crack a little more. So with the welded diff, I'm going to go ahead and put the aluminum inserts in and my inserts up here and go ahead and do my solid diff bushings while I'm pulling the fuel tank out. So I've already got the exhaust off, started taking the axle bolts out. But one thing else I had to do, I had to go get the G35, and then I went and got the Pontiac G6, and then I've got her here, this SC300. Evidently, the county where I live decided I had entirely too many vehicles. So I got a thing in the mail saying I had to get rid of some of the stuff. So I'm going to move a few here. I'm going to stack them at night, one on top, one underneath on the lifts best I can. I hate leaving them outside, but it's one of those things. Either I fix them and sell them in a hurry, or I move some of them here and try to keep them from getting broken into and that type of thing, or I just haul them to the scrapyard if they're something I'm not really concerned with right now. So I do have a couple of those that will happen too. So I did get the fuel tank out. I will say this is not a one-man job, so if you want to attempt this, you probably want some help. I had 2 jack stands. I did end up using a transmission jack to kind of hold it to one side where I had fuel so it didn't kind of teeter over. And I would suggest you definitely have a swivel socket, because the back where the straps that go under the fuel tank, the 12s or the 17s are real hard to get to, so you end up needing like a swivel socket, and it's definitely going to be a pain putting them back in. I'm kind of got to figure that out before I even start. So what I've got to do now is the fuel tank's kind of dented up, so I have to like knock it down in there. And I need to figure out where this thing is leaking fuel, because I think I might have found it. It looks kind of like, if you'll look, this fitting right here looks dirty. So I almost wonder if at one point this wasn't left unhooked somewhere at some point, because that's the only thing. That fitting was actually pretty dirty. There may have been at one point in time a issue where that didn't get hooked back up, or this tank's been dropped before or something. I'm not really sure. But this thing was definitely leaking fuel. I have to fix the dents in it where I can put the correct fuel pump back in it and all that. So that way I can have a fuel gauge. I think I may have broke the sensor, because on these, it has, like on the passenger side where you actually put the fuel pump in, well, on the driver's side, it's got the same type of lid with a sensor in it. And I didn't realize that. And it got a little tight before I realized it had that sensor in it. So this is the first I've never pulled a 350Z fuel tank, and I didn't watch any videos or anything. So this is like on me. So I'll figure out what that sensor is. And I'm gonna try to find the leak. I'll probably go ahead and replace the filler neck on this thing, probably the vacuums too, because I'm not 100% sure where it's actually leaking. I can only speculate and try to find the leak. And if the tank's busted or cracked somewhere, I'll just have to replace the tank, which I'm gonna try to figure that out. But there was definitely a fuel leak when you top this thing off. It wouldn't like come up to the filler neck and click and shut the fuel off. It would just start overflowing from somewhere, and you'd have fuel all over the ground before you realized it. Well, that being said, I'll probably go ahead and call it a night, because there's not a lot. I can't set this down. It's got not a ton of fuel, but it's got quite a bit, and I can't get it off this jack without some help and these stands. So I'm probably to the end of this part of what I'm doing. I actually got something to show you guys. We got some new decals, actually some stickers. I want to show you the new ones we got. This is our new stickers. All right, we're gonna actually be figuring out what to do with those. We're either gonna sell them, give them away. I don't know what we're gonna do just yet. That's something new we got. All right, so we decided to sell the 350Z. So once I get the fuel tank, the rear diff, he's actually wanting a factory rear diff. He don't want a welded rear diff in it. So I'm just gonna put well, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the one out of the G35 and put it into the 350Z. And I didn't put the solid bushings in when I welded the diff. So I'm gonna put the solid bushings in that diff and in the actual G35. So the G35 will have the welded diff and the solid bushings. Well, with the money where I sold the 350Z, I'm gonna buy a motor to put in the G35. Not gonna work on any of that tomorrow. I actually didn't work on any of it today either. I had to go to the bank, deal with some stuff. But I'm making a purchase tomorrow, so we're driving to Cincinnati, Ohio, which is about 5 hours from us. And so I'm gonna buy something. We'll discuss that more tomorrow. I'll shoot some footage of that. But I got the cops called on me. We washed the floor. Me and my son were here. We having issues bleeding the e-brake handle on the IS300. It's one of the cheaper e-brake handles with the cheaper reservoir, and I think it's just drawing air in something, or the master's not good or something. We've bled it 3 times and it's still not holding air. Back to the cops. I got this pulled out and revved the engine up a little bit. Maybe may or may not have tried to do a burnout or two, and then we get it put back in, and the water hose where I was washing the parking lot and floors and stuff out, I was rolling it up, and then here rose the police. Super nice guy, young guy, but he rolls up and said they got a call about somebody revving engines and stuff up here. So what do? I mean, it's in a business location doing business stuff, revving cars up that you're tuning, and may or may not have accidentally spun a tire. But so we got the cops called on us. My son, he didn't say 2 words. He didn't know what to say to him, I guess. And they asked if I'd been revving the engines up, and I was like, oh yeah, won't happen again. I mean, I don't know, what do you tell them? Then we'll be on to the G35. I've got to get some smaller tires. This thing has 295 45s in the back, and that's insane. Yeah, and it leaks oil pretty bad. I guess it's, I don't know if it slung a rod or what the deal is, but we completely topped off the oil in the G35 and it leaked all of it out. Like, I mean, it took a few days, but it dumped it all out. So I'm assuming this thing's probably got a hole in it somewhere. I'm gonna drop the oil pan and see what I find. It's, I've not spent a lot of time on it yet. So we'll get a little more into that in the next few days. But tomorrow's a pretty big deal for me. So, yeah. Well, that's what we got going on. So if you want to see anything about the G35, we're going to be changing the motor out on it. So, on the way to Cincinnati, we're going to try to pick up some footage, and then once we get there, we'll have some more things we're going to video and film and shoot, and yeah, I think you're gonna like what we get from Cincinnati. I will. I think. I hope. So we'll find out tomorrow. But we're going to Cincinnati tomorrow, so we'll get some footage of that and that whole event. But yeah. That's what we're doing tomorrow. All right. Thanks for watching our video, guys. If you will, hit the like and subscribe. Share our videos, man. Hey, we appreciate that. For sure. So that way, if you're friends with somebody on the internet or Facebook or whatever, and we're not friends, and they'll, you know, get a chance to see some of the videos, maybe something they're interested in. Hit the little bell after you subscribe or whatever. And again, it's free. It don't cost anything. It's just a few minutes to set it up. And so if you hit the little bell, you'll get the notifications that we've posted a video, and we're getting some better stuff going on here. It's actually a bigger deal. At chesserenterprises at yahoo.com. Check out that. If you want to get on Instagram, Chesser Drifting, Facebook, Chesser Motorsports. Check out some of, if you want to speed up a little bit, if you don't want to wait for some of our videos to come out, we post stuff daily or every other day or two about what's actually going on more closer to when it's going on. So these are kind of behind on the videos, so we'll get them caught up at some point. I'm okay if we don't, like 100%, because I'm not filming anything in a few days. We've been swapping cars and moving stuff around and been to the bank and all that mess, but yeah, so stay tuned. You'll get a little dose of what we're doing tomorrow. It's a big deal for me. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching our video. See you soon.